Hello, everybody. How is it going? Let's see. This time we'll share the screen early. Okay. We'll start with the indices. So we'll take a look at NASDAQ. And we'll take a look at SPY. So it looks like that 4 hour. This really is. It broke it's tough to say. Is the 4 hour inverse head and shoulders? I don't know. But, anyways, keep it simple with the 4 hour trend on futures. 4 hour higher low, higher high. So it looks like 6813 is going to be a very important level or zone. Nice move up. Take a look at NASDAQ as well. Looks like it's a little bit weaker. This has more of the 4 hour inverse head and shoulders vibe to it, right? Like you have your left shoulder, there's your body or head, and then there's your quick little higher low. Nice little buying wick there, and then move higher here. Let's go to the indices and see what they are looking like here. So we're gapping up on SPY. SPY just battled with this range yesterday, pretty much the whole entire day, and it was very back and forth. Um, you can see that it started trading sideways, like it ended like right below the POC here, but it was above it, underneath. Like if you really zoom in, you can see the battle. So pre-market, it was trying to hold, then it lost it, then it looked like it was going to go lower, and it held, and then it just went up. So it was all about establishing that level and then moving upward. And it's hard because you have this level and you want to say, okay, if price is above it, you want to go long. If price is below it, you want to go short. But at the same time, you have to consider other price action levels within those levels. And I think that's something that you have to do on the fly and adapt real fast with. And I think it can be sometimes hard to do because you could see on this spot, if you just took a long here, like you might have thought that this was a buying opportunity passing through this level here. It just wasn't the case. On this one, it closed above. Like this is the first time it closed above this level here. It's just hard to be patient for that 15 minutes because you're like, ooh, I think it's gonna close here, and it just doesn't. So, but if you got in here, so let's say you got it on the close of this candle here. You could realistically put your stop underneath here, but honestly, it should be underneath here and with a buffer, right? Like, because it can obviously wick through here and then go up again. So you'd want a buffer here. And if you do that, you barely get a 1-to-1. There lies the problems. There lies the problems. And that's the stuff that I just don't have answers to be honest with you. You just don't take the trade, I guess. Anyways, the bounce continues. We're basically almost at the highs again here. Above the, Yeah. So at this point, most likely scenario is going to be a daily high or low on SPY. If we do decide to consolidate, we are gapping up opening today, and looks like we're back testing this value area high here, and then this is just the overall range. So it looks like we're trying to get back up here and then move to the highs. I mean, the intriguing thing is that we're not getting increased volume on the way up. So if you say this is the low, this is the high, we pulled back way more than bulls would want. So then the most likely scenario is going to be a daily low or high. And the only way that can change is if we have increasing bull volume, then the percentages change a little bit more. But you can see with the volume here that it's really just not it's clearly that the bulls are declining in volume here, which then completely goes against everything and anything about how. And there's always nuance, obviously, and things don't always have to work out, but it's interesting that that's the case, and it makes me almost want to lean short this morning. We have an inside bar on QQQ that's breaking bull. Again, not ideal. And again, if you take the lows here and you take the highs, pulled way back, and QQQ is right, just sort of getting above his golden pocket. So, again, if you want to get to the highs, you want to see increasing bull volume, and we're just not seeing that yet. Could it happen today? Sure. Today could be a day where there's a lot of volume, but as for what's been happening so far, it hasn't really been the case. The Dow, the Dow. This was over 50%. Volume is not here to help us. Big day yesterday, though. XLF chugging slowly. And there's your XLV. Wow, healthcare. Hmm. Big move up. Should have had eyes on healthcare yesterday with this close over the POC here. Big move up. I wonder who did most of the damage yesterday. Pfizer had a huge day, breaking out of its daily range. UNH had a pretty decent day, which we had eyes on, but I just I don't like that it's below every moving average. Like, because we broke out of this range, we broke the low end of the range here, and you would think that there would be a little bit of a battle right at the one of the original moving averages, which is going to be coming up very shortly. J&J with a big move. Damn. Wow. MDT. LNG was up and gave some of it back. BP, same thing. These are no longer. Oh, what T-Doc do? Nothing. Lily. Man, this stock went way back. Did all this. Look at that player. That was a 200 day. Darn it. 26%. Just get in here and stick your stop. I guess stick your stop under here somewhere. Okay, so things are bullish this morning, but for the same, let's see if there's any FANG names that are not gapping up. Google is gapping up. Tesla is not. Amazon is not. Oh no, it is. Meta is not. Nvidia probably is. Yeah. Nvidia was weak yesterday. I didn't get that trade that I wanted because no excuse. No excuse. Just missed it. PLTR. I like it less now because daily lower high is most likely scenario. Microsoft is gapping up. Apple did have a move up, but now, it basically got where I thought it would go, but this was a good trade. Got in here, had my stop underneath here, added here, move my stop up here, and then sold it right around here. Probably should have held to here. But I didn't like this candle formation right here. So we had the break to a new high with a nice close. Figured you'd go right up to here. Followed it up by having a bearish, and that's a candle pattern that I don't necessarily love, right? Big green into a red. It had enough volume on it to be scary enough. So I got out on this little bounce here. And then it did held again and then went up. So it's not like I was necessarily wrong. The bears just could have just easily came through and then so that's for that. Look at the quantum names as the sector is kind of quieted down. and we are back inside of this daily range here. And with earnings coming, I just don't know if there's like anything to really do here. You don't really want to be looking for bear plays when you're in demand zones. And you don't really want to be looking for long-term swing trades for bulls if earnings are approaching. So it's kind of a not really much you can do here. I mean, the trade would have been, you see this head and shoulders, right? And it's so much easier said than done. But let's say you get in here, put your stop up here, and then you're trying to get down to this level here. And that's a 3-to-1 trade on the daily time frame. If you're really special, you could have maybe used the hourly time frame to get in on here, put your stop above there, and look to maybe take some off here and get down to the 200-day. The 50-day being there was a problem too, though. But for the most part, if you watch the daily here, you could have said, okay, well, if this level breaks up here with a little bit of wiggle room, I'll get out of the trade. But so maybe quantum is not necessarily the right move here. We were right that RGTI had a weak day yesterday. I thought it could have got ugly yesterday. It did not. As you can see, it ended up breaking down here and then had a lower high, lower low with no follow through into a bull move, and the bulls able to get back over and kind of salvage the day. So just, once again, fighting in those levels. And then same thing here. So we're not going to look at much quantum today. Not really interested in this sector either. It was weak on the way down, so I don't expect it to be the weakest one if we do decide to go down again. And then from the upside standpoint, there's that overhanging news with Nvidia and yada yada yada. Well, even though AMD had some good news, though, just remembering that. So AMD is gapping up 6% here. This is an interesting one because I can make a case that, no, not really. I disagree. I made one adjustment to my rules is that, like, because I sometimes struggle in when a market is going a certain way and I want to get in, but unless it like perfectly back tests one of my levels, I don't have as much confidence in it. And an adjustment that I made yesterday and hopefully going forward, and I could use smaller size, but I'll give an example if I could find. Okay, yeah. So like this is a range here. I would say this whole thing is a range here. Maybe I can clean that up a little bit. Maybe not the best example, but this is a range here. So it would be something like if we broke out of a range, the first test of my smallest EMA would be a long. So this would actually have been a stop out, most likely. I do like that. Which is, I don't like the 9-day anyway. So okay. So like here, potentially go long off of this candle here on the first higher low. This one isn't very clean, so I probably wouldn't have done that now looking at it because we had a triple inside bar and a bear break. So probably not ideal. But so now, like, same thing here. If we come down, we break this level here, we break out of this range. So the first time we have a back test of my moving average, that would be a short for me. Just back down to this level and then taking profit and reevaluating. And if it ends up being where we break and then the moving average is right where my support level is going to be or my resistance level is going to be, that would be a more confident trade to take because I just need more tools and I sometimes want to use the EMAs, but I sometimes get hesitant because I don't have a clear enough plan. So now understanding when it's like breaking out of range, and a good example is Nvidia yesterday because I struggled with Nvidia yesterday because on Monday I tried to play um the was it Monday or Friday? It was Friday. I tried to play the long um aggressively pre-market and I got stopped out. Ended up having a few good trades after that, but I was worried about um, the same thing here, and this was the range. I could just highlight the range here from the other day. Essentially, that was the range. So I wanted to short it yesterday because I had the bad news, and I thought that it would be a good short. And we were talking about it here, about getting in a position here, and it was just kind of janky. But if you just take off extended hours and not worry about all that bullshit, look where it bounced off of, like right where I wanted to go. So once again, am I quick? Do I have the confidence to get into a trade that fast? Not really. But if you see that once we broke out of the range here, and again, look, once we broke out of the range here, it goes down. So you have the back test of the level here, which could have been a play in general, right? But let's say you miss that, then you have it right here. So you have this one here. If you miss that, you have this one right here. Get to the level here, tough close, so you don't love it, but the volume's not there. You see a little bit of drawdown, or you just get in, right? Yeah, I mean, like you want to see some sort of rejection here, though, and then you get in, you put yourself above there with a little bit of buffer, and then you take your profit down at the low. So it's a quick trade, but at least you're not like itching to get into it. And then you see it didn't work out. It almost worked here again, but then it failed, and then get to low, and then it starts going up. So it's all about breaking the range and then either looking for the low of that, the back test low. If that doesn't happen, if the bears or the bulls are too weak, you look for that play. And if they're together, even better. So that's really something that I've made the adjustment with, and hopefully that helps. And that's a fractal that goes on every time frame. So yeah, we're not too hell bent on this. I guess I could scream right through it real fast. CLS was a nice good recovery. Bitcoin trying to recover. Bitcoin. Interesting. I wonder what it looks like the 4 hour here. Interesting. So you have this 4 hour range, the lowest to hit, the high. There's your break, right? I guess you call that one the break, right? There's your break. You have your 4 hour. So you had your bull flag here. No follow through into a pullback, back to the value area high, dips in, holds. Nice bull move here. So this could get things going here with the bulls. Interesting enough. Interesting enough. But if we're being real, which we are in a daily lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high, no follow through, lower high, back to the bears, sideways and up. So still a bull trend. Sorry, bear trend on the daily. We are still looking for the monthly higher low, which did hit daily oversold, and it bounced right off the EMA. So what bulls want to see here is a daily higher low, higher high to new highs, and potentially get to work on setting that monthly higher low, a quick monthly higher low. Now, with that being said, if this level breaks, that's not good. That would not be good. So interesting stance here. Not a bad play for bulls to potentially go. I mean, this is not a bad look. I mean, this higher high with no follow through is not a good look either. I guess if we're looking bullish on this, we could look for some names on on Bitcoin that are somewhat bullish correlated. So we have coin that broke bare of this structure here, bounced right off the 9 day, and had a nice little bounce here. Couldn't quite get up to the moving averages, but still, look at all this overhead supply. Not great. Monster, gross. Riot gave it all back. Lost the 50-day. This double bottom level was a big level that you see. Triple bottomed and then boom. Those are the type of trades where I just hate that I miss. I mean, it's clear level here. You clearly have this day where it's like, okay, the bulls might show up here, but if you get the bear break here, I bet you it wasn't easy though. Let's see how clean it was. We'll start at the hourly. Okay. So let's see if it just started right off the jump there. So yeah, first 15-minute candle closes right underneath it. I mean, that's a very big statement there. I mean, that's all you really need, right? Look for a little bit of a pop here, put your stop above the high, and then let it roll. And if you're sitting on this time frame here, you can literally just play it until it breaks the structure here. See what it looks like on the 5 minute, because I usually like the 5 minute more than the 15 minute. 5 minutes always a little bit more tricky. But no, not in this case. Inside bar bear break, there you go. Inside bar bear break. I mean, even gives you even more levels to play off of. Hut, hut, hut. Mushstone. Wolf. Giving it back a little bit here. And then McDonald's is not Bitcoin. These are just extra where I get a little bit out of hand. With my... Oh, wait, there's Mara. Mara. Oof. Yikes. Man. I was looking bullish mirror here, and then just see you later, alligator. How's D-Dog doing after its big earnings play? So this is a good example, right? So this was a range. This was clearly a range. Breaking bull out of it, right? So I would be interested in Datadog on a back test of my moving average here. And ideally, it would be hourly oversold. So I want to make this an um, and we're going to make an alarm here, and it won't let me. Oh God, TeamViewer, you're so good. Okay, well, D-Dog. First hourly back burner. Broken bull out of range. Looking for first touch back test of plus back burner. So if it's a plus back burner, it's even more, it's even nicer of a trade. Oh, it popped up. Back burner, hourly oversold. Oh, nope, I want it on the hourly. Nope, hourly. Create. Yeah, I only want it during regular hours. Back burner oversold, hourly. Perfect, okay. So still not really finding much today. You have CCJ bouncing, trying to set a daily higher low. This is kind of a weird name here. Bulls need to set a daily higher low here and try to get back to the highs here. Power up multi-colored alerts. Supercharger. Okay, no. We have Vistra struggling inside of its daily range. And again, this is one of those tough names where it's like, this is clearly a huge level here, and you don't want to see it break. And this was a day here that tricked a lot of people. And I probably would have gotten tricked too, so I don't blame them. It opens right here, and you get the flush, right? So it's exactly like the trade we just looked at. In this case, it got zero follow through, and then it just completely bounced. But now we're back down here again. So that's not that's not a good look, right? You get this huge move up, you get the gap up, you can't even get to the 50-day here. You have a little bit of a sideways, day. Wasn't the end of the world because once again you have to break the previous day's lows, and then yesterday that's exactly what happened. So today is a really important day for Vistra. Same thing, just not looking great with these names. So Vistra might be a name I'd play today bearish, but we'll leave it up. Um, the metals, right? Metals. Silver still doing silver things. Not what I wanted to see personally, because I wanted to be in it. But can potentially, see this pattern, looking for a big potential back test of the moving average. But the thing is just, I mean, this is exactly what you wanted to see here from a bull. I mean, the volume could have been better here, but it was increasing. But it wasn't very, it wasn't, this volume, you know? And then gold, same thing. We were watching these ranges here. So you got this break, climbs all the way up to this range. I mean, I think there would be some interest if we did come back here. These names that trade 24 hours is tough. Platinum. Platinum looks like shit comparable to that. Very choppy. We got some more. I can't even trade this name. I mean, I traded this name from here to up here, and then I just didn't. I mean, ugh. And then we have Steel, which was a nice name. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like a pullback on gold. We go some of these names now. Lift, up more. This is a really nice name that I've played. This is a really nice move. And it's really starting to get going here. Is that a weekly bull flag? Yep, just about. Weekly bull flag here. And there is no resistance at all. So really good look for lift. Just completely just like completely ran through this level here. This was all just a lot of weak-handed bulls that got over this weekly level and then sold out. So these levels are important, but I just don't know how much weight to put on these names because I don't know if this is like bears and bulls getting in more than. I mean, it is clearly bears taking over here, right? But it's more about the bulls having a really good opportunity and failing. So just not enough interest instead of bears really taking over. So I don't know how to utilize that with volume on the way back up, but maybe there is something to that where it's like if you see that it's not as important, but it's still a resistance level no matter what way you slice it. So lift going up, plenty of room for daily high or low. This is quantum. Nvidia is still chugging a little bit here. Again, keeping an eye on the volume here. Now, Nvidia is interesting because Nvidia did have the daily lower high set. Like this is the daily lower high being set. Now, did we get the hourly trend change though? I'd say no. But with that being said, you never really got the hourly trend change on the way down. You had the huge gap up. But because of the huge gap up, we did confirm that it was set because of the huge gap up. So now it's a spot here where you're looking for the daily hourly lower high, can't get the hourly lower low, and now you keep on going forward. So the bears needed the hourly lower low. They don't get it, and now they're back above this level. So I'm assuming that the regular trading hours high of this level is very important because there's two parts to every trend, and that's the break of the candlestick and then also the actual trend change. So I think I mean, this could very easily mean that, Nvidia finally gets to where it wanted to go to, which was weird that it didn't get here at the first place, with at least here because of the news. Because if you see how strong it was, I mean, it was very, very strong on this day. And I was an idiot trying to short it right here because I tried to short here. I got stopped out. And then I shorted here for a nice little win. And then I should have gone long here. And then I tried to short here and I got stopped out. That was just this last one was a bad short because this was clearly the strongest name. But yeah, we could end up seeing you have the AMD news, which I don't know if it's good or bad for Nvidia. We could definitely see price get back up here. And once again, I think the main thing is understanding that this level is important. And I always get confused with, okay, you have this level, but then you have the pre-market low. So it's like there's a world where we can break this level, come here, do this with the lower low, get no follow through, shoot straight up, and then go. You know what I mean? And then it would be like, okay, what the fuck just happened? You would think that the regular trading hours high would be more important because this level was set in regular trading hours. Um, but it is just a price point. It's the highest the bulls were able to push price before before the day was kind of um, before we pulled back. So now that we're over that, it's kind of a big deal. Definitely on a bear day, it's a big deal. So that level, and to me, is more important than the pre-market low. Because the pre-market low is a bunch of pajama traders, as Trade Barrage would say, and this was the furthest the price could be pushed down, and then we have a move up. So I'm leaning Nvidia long here, even though, God, I don't love it. Amazon looking strong here. Amazon is gapping up over this level. This one is interesting too. This was the Colossal Monday play that I just completely bumped, like just missed out on too. But now that we have this is exactly where you want it to be opening, like right around here. So you get this potential burst straight up because you have this hourly level here. We come into the weekly zone. You can see that we tried to hold here. No follow through. We open down here, push down, and then we have that huge move up. And you have this move up into the valley area high, and then a pull down. I always get confused when price gets to the Valley area high or even breaks it, because I have this like thing in my mind that if it's over the POC, then it's like not a good look for the other side. And it's like, I don't know if that's, I mean, there's got to be a way to interpret that a little bit differently. But as you see here, struggle bust, back over, resistance, and now we're actually over it. So that's a pretty big deal. And again, going back to the weekly time frame here, you have this sideways range, you have this save here, you have the bull break here, and now you have the back test of this range here. And again, this happened to me on Apple yesterday on a smaller time frame. But you have this move up and you're looking for a back test here. You don't get it, doesn't quite get it. You get the big gap up, thinking that's the move you missed it, and then it comes back down, and then you're saying to yourself, well, I'm not sure if I like it anymore, right? Because it just had its move and then it failed. So you almost think that like this was the opportunity, it failed, and now it's not there anymore. And that's just not. I'm going to say that's just not the case. Like the level's the level, and you can see it almost kind of worked out with the break out of a range. Here's your daily high or low. Oh shoot, I gotta fix that. There you go. Break out of range. There's your daily high or low off of the moving average. And then again, pulled back here. Inside bar bull break. Don't like that bull break of an inside bar in extended hours, though. And this is just, you can call this one move up, honestly. All one move up. There's your daily high or low. Daily high or low is set here. I mean, technically speaking, that's again not true. Like it was set, but at the same time, you have this one move up. Here's your higher low, and we haven't had a higher high until just here. So I'd say this is a big level. And again, Apple had a level like this that like it took forever for it to get over. Like it was an hourly level that it was just like this chaotic mess of a level. Now, here's a question, is that like even if this looks good, do we think that the indices are going to be pulling back today? I think there's a good chance the indices pull back today. So like these plays here aren't necessarily ideal. It's almost like they're luring people in. So I got to be cautious of that today. John Deere with a nice EQ here. Lower high, higher low, lower high. Could you get even tighter? It's probably going to get tight until earnings. Probably going to get tight till earnings. I mean, ND is interesting as it's back over this level here. This stock is just all over the place. I don't even know how to gauge this thing. You have the sideways range. You have the bull break. No follow through back into range. Not ideal. You have this double top here. You think it's a rejection. No dice. Then it goes back up. Then rejects here. Comes all the way back down. Breaks the low of the structure here. And then here is that play I was just talking about, right? Breaks the low of the structure here. Looking for the higher, lower high off the level here. And then it sort of works. You get your bear break with no follow through and then up. So it's a combination of like the moving averages being in the way, etc. Kind of make sure that you're taking profit there and being able to get stopped out with a break even trade or something. This is I mean, I don't know why I have this range like this because it really is this range here. That's the range because that's the highest it was able to put, and this is the break. I mean, this could have been the range. This is original range. Broke bear, but then it's back in the range. You got to extend it. And as you see, if you extend it, then you get a nice little bull move here. Disney earnings. UNH was an interesting one. Like, again, this is where, I guessed, there's a 3% move here. But do I really want to be? This would be an uphill kind of swimming thing. It's like, oh, I'm trying to get. I always get in trouble with trades like this, where I'm just trying to get to a level, even though the opposite way is in control. So the bears are in control of the stock here. If we would have hit this level a little bit more, I'd say it differently. But the bears are into the. So if I'm trying to get to here, I'm still trying to like battle the overall market here or the trend. So it's better just to. It really might just be better just to wait, be patient, and play it short off of here, back to here, and then maybe go long. BYND, BP, Oracle. Oracle is interesting as it's having a lot of these. Like this is the second time in a row we have this these candles here, these doji candles, or even you can call them hammers, right? So we got daily oversold. We filled the gap. We're looking for a monthly high or low. There's weekly support. We have the 200-day right there. And all we're looking for here, I mean, unless you're looking for a home run, looking for that monthly high or low. I mean, it would seem like you'd want to wait until it got to the EMA 12 here, right? Just because it's the daily is oversold doesn't mean it has to bounce here. I mean, the only thing that I like about this chart, the only thing I like about this chart is that it had a hammer candle, gap up, failure, lower low into another hammer candle. And the hammer candle has us looking for an hourly lower high, though. Hmm. I mean, there's definitely something here. One, two, three touches there. Two touches there. So there's something here. So maybe we got another daily lower high. Worth keeping an eye on. I never do well with these patterns because this pattern would essentially have to mark the daily high or low, and the problem with that is that it's just not like it's already above it. You know. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe it's a 4 hour pattern, and it's going to be marking the weekly high or low. So I guess I can. Dicks. Smush. SLB giving a little bit back. Had a good day yesterday. I can probably move my stop up at this point. Really don't want to see a break. So what is this? This would be daily. What's the so 1 to 50 cents. Stupid gnat. So 35.19 is still all the way down here. But that's the buffer I need, I guess. So we're gonna SLB 35.19. Move stop. CCI real estate. Okay, I don't even know why I have this on there. Stupid, stupid. Intra. Kroger, Walmart. Walmart surprisingly doing better. This is a trade that wouldn't have worked for me, right? Like you have the breakdown of the structure here. And then you have the rejection here. But again though, right? Like I mean, it's back into structure. So it's like you're taking the lower height back into structure. Sure, it's not a bad trade, but you have to, this is the hard part, right? You have to be a little bit more understanding. Like actually it's a pretty good trade. It has the EMA right off of the alternative POC, but you have to take profit here. And you get stopped out, but you have to take profit here. I mean, what does it look like on the 15-minute? Yeah, I mean, you go short here. If you go, if you, I mean, if you're top fishing, you're doing short here, or you're going short here, put yourself above here, or you get another chance at it right here if you're real picky, and then you get out here, or you sell half here, then it comes back up here, and then you get stopped out. Like you have to trust your levels. I sometimes just always assume that things are going to break through levels, and and sometimes they don't. But at the same time, a lot of times it's actually both. Sometimes I don't think it's going to break through levels, and then I sell, and then it does. So it's like, I guess what the broader market is doing, and also what's the daily uptrend, or what's the daily trend, and also the fact that this is a demand zone. So it's like fail to break out a demand zone, back into it. You gotta give it credit where credit's due. CVS breaking above here. Interesting. This is not a bad look. This is actually not a bad look at all. You got CVS here. You got the health sector looking pretty good. You have it breaking bullish out of these two EMAs or moving averages after it held the 9 day. So we had this bull break with no follow through into a really big pullback. And then we had the rejection off of the EMA, right? And then you wanted to get that lower low, no follow through, and now it's the bulls are trying to take back over here. So this is a prime spot for bulls to take back over here. There's a gap to be filled, which is a small resistance level. And then you'd think bulls would want to get back to work. There was definitely a little bit of this action. So maybe a little bit weary of when price gets back up to one of that level there. And how much meat is on the bone there? 4%. I don't know what the spread is like on CVS. Very dry today. I just don't like trading names that I've never traded before because usually the spread sucks. And then I just end up, not really having much going on. So QCOM had this weekly level here. It broke bull, failed to stay in it. Now it's kind of out of it. It's actually, it looks like it could be a short. I mean, this is just a zone of interest, and now you're out of it, and here's your back test potentially of that, and then look to get, but it's kind of still in a smush zone. Where's my phone? I need to charge my phone. OKLO had earnings. Oh, that was yesterday. Netflix. Netflix is over its back over its 200 day. I mean, it does seem like this is the lowest it pushed. This was the highest it can get. I mean, I guess you could say that this is the highest it got. And then this was just access here. But you gotta pick and choose. I mean, it really looks like it just rejected from this sideways range. All right, let's dissect this. So I think it's fairly obvious that the market is telling us that this structure is important. So there you go. Got the lower lower no follow through into the bull break back up here. And double top and then boom. Then you get the big move down. Move back up. So it's clearly this level is huge is a really important level. But what level is important down here? Like it has something to do with this level here, I guess. I mean, is it really like this tiny little thing here? Yeah, I guess it is. And again, this is going to be a zone of interest. Because it was support that might be resistance. But there's no like guarantee that there's so-called people there. I mean, at this point, you can say that there is because of this. So unfortunately, Netflix has to get. Oh, I think this level is important on Netflix. So just do I just extend it up to this? Ah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess if we're getting the bounce, I guess you could say that the bounce is all intact until the hourly is a goner, which would be this little guy right here. But that doesn't really give me much of a trade plan. Doesn't give me much of a trade plan. Oh well. All right. Well, I'm gonna hop off because I'm gonna watch somebody else that might give me a better idea of uh, what I'm looking for, as if my case for being short potentially is valid or if it's not valid. So thank you for watching. Have a good one.